Generally speaking, it goes up from here. And yeah, pretty good whiskey. I mean, pretty all right whiskey. Pretty basic whiskey.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Spirits Collective.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Aiden.
And this is the show where we all learn to drink together.
And today we're trying out Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon for you guys. Yeah, so Jim Beam has actually been around since around 1795. Jim Beam is an 80 proof whiskey, which means it has 40% alcohol by volume. This bottle is distilled and bottled by James B. Beam Distilling Company in Claremont and Frankfort, Kentucky, USA. And this bottle is usually aged around 4 years in lower temperatures. And the mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. And that is Jim Beam. So Alex, do you have any experience with Jim Beam?
Zero.
Okay.
I would always drink tequila. So a lot of the bigger whiskey brands that a lot of people are used to, I'm not very familiar with it. I know of Jim Beam. I have no experience with it.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of experience with Jim Beam. I've always known about it. And to me, it kind of looks like, if you look at it, it looks like if Walmart made a whiskey, this is the way it would look. Yeah, this is a half bottle. But either way, I think the label just looks so like... It doesn't have that vibe that other whiskey labels give.
I see what you mean. But you know what does excite me? This right here. What does that say, Aiden?
Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, which has been our favorites. So I'm expecting this to be better than Jack Daniels. I'm expecting this to be better than with some of the other bigger stuff we've tried. I'm expecting
Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark.
Not
I don't think it's
maybe
better than
Maker's Mark, but
no.
definitely better than Jack Daniels for sure. Because I've been a fan of the bourbons, specifically from Kentucky, and then this is a big brand. So for the most part, they are big for some reason, whether it's good or bad, basic or complex. It's big for a reason. So I'm excited to see why that is.
I want to say, what do you think of the bottle design? But this is a half bottle.
This is the half bottle, so I'll do what you did and just judge the label. I'll agree with you. It looks pretty basic. It looks like the Walmart brand of whiskey. But with that being said, Kentucky Straight Bourbon. So what does that mean? It means it was made in Kentucky. It means the mash bill is at least 51% corn, and that it has been aged for 2 years minimum. So that we know for sure, just off of those three little words right there, Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
This is aged for around 4 years at lower temperatures, and I'm not quite sure what that means. If you know what that means,
do tell.
Yeah, comment it down below, because I have no idea what it means to age something at lower temperatures, what it does for the whiskey. But I think enough is said. Let's crack it open.
No cork on this one. It's understandable.
Not even a sound. Just
wow. I don't want to try it anymore. So this is 4 years. I would not have guessed based on the color. What is it? We've tried Brothers Bond recently. Brothers Bond recently, and I swear it was darker than this, and I think that was also 4 years. So pretty light in the color. What about you, Aiden? What are you seeing?
I think it's really light. I think it looks very what do you call it? Thin.
Okay.
Yeah. This just feels like it feels like it's gonna be very watered down. It's obviously mass produced. You can find this anywhere, honestly. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it.
Before we get into the nose, Jack Daniels is a pretty basic whiskey and nothing crazy, but they're so big that they do have other variations that are really good, like the one we've had on the show, single barrel proof. Does Jim Beam have anything like that?
Kentucky Fire.
No, seriously,
I'm sure they do, but
okay.
I've never really looked into the Jim Beam brand. So I just wanted to try it. This is a really popular whiskey, so
this might change that for us.
Taking a while to review it. I feel like it's about time to do it. But yeah, I'm ready to smell this.
All right, guys, this is on the nose. Cheers. Honey and vanilla. No, I'd just say like corn syrup that's vanilla flavored. I wouldn't necessarily say honey. Like just sweet vanilla.
I would say honey. Yeah.
But it does got like a nice familiar nose to it. Not much going on, but like it's familiar. You know what I mean?
I was about to say that, dude. This is very like straightforward. It's like ethanol and honey. That's it.
I'm not getting much alcohol at all.
Me either, but like it's there.
Oh, there it is. Huh. Nose is pretty flat for me. My allergies are acting up, so my nostrils are a little clogged.
Well, I'll tell you that you are correct. I feel the same way.
Hey. All right. I mean, a little bit of honey, a little bit of vanilla. I don't know. I don't think there's much more to add for that. The taste. Jim Beam. Cheers. Very watery, very, very watery, very smooth. I got like a black label taste to it, like cardboardness.
I actually don't know what you're talking about. That was pretty pleasant.
Yeah, it was smooth and watery. Yeah,
I took a big sip. A lot of sweetness.
A lot of sweetness. Okay, I didn't get much sweetness.
A bunch of sweetness. Not as smooth as I would have thought it would have been, but I feel like from a whiskey like this, kind of in that Jack Daniel's category range right there, that's expected. It's not like this. It's not going to be the smoothest or the best, but it's going to get the job done. And that's what I got from this.
So you got a lot of sweetness, and I always get sweetness in the beginning, and I didn't this time, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it again.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, not much sweetness for me, but very very watery, very smooth.
I'm getting a bunch of like just sweet flavors, kind of like honey and bananas mixed together.
I am envious. I didn't get any of that.
And nothing but sweetness on the actual palate. Sweetness when I swallowed it, nothing but sweetness. Right now on the finish, nothing but sweetness. But it's like a sweetness that doesn't have a whole lot of depth. So there's not like a lot of notes that I'm able to pick out. It's kind of just sweet, but it doesn't seem like an unnatural sweetness either.
I was expecting a little more, but I will say it is smooth. It is watery. You're not gonna have problems drinking this whiskey. Not much flavor there for me. And we're back with Jim Beam, not Jim Bean, but Jim Beam with an M on the rocks.
M is Mary.
It did crispify those flavors a little bit for me. Actually made it a little more pleasant for me than neat. And then it just dies out like how most whiskeys do on the rocks.
To me, it just smells like ice.
Like ice. All right, I'm gonna get in there.
Ugh, bitter. Super
Still
bitter.
Smooth. Very, very smooth. Nice and cool, but definitely more bitter. And overall, just not very good. I think I'm ready to go for the verdict on this one. All right.
So, Alex,
Verdict time.
being somebody that's never had any experience with Jim Beam,
Jim Beam.
what do you think about it?
This started out actually pretty good with the nose. It was very basic, very simple, but there was enough there so I was like, that might not be as bad as I thought it was going to be initially. And then I tasted it and it was smooth, very watery. I don't think anybody would have a problem shooting this, sipping on this, anything like that. Flavor wise, there was not much there for me to get this. I'd say this would be, what is the price point on this?
All right, so if you want to get yourself a bottle of Jim Beam, the 750 ml version, you can probably find it for like $20.
Okay, so with that being said, for me, Jim Beam is perfect for shots. I was able to sip this on the rocks and neat just fine. Very smooth. I would not buy this again to try and sip on it, or for cocktails. There's not much there. It's not gonna hold its own in a cocktail. It's gonna disappear easily. So for me, this is for shots. I would recommend it for a beginner, just so they could see that it's not intimidating as it seems, because I think any beginner would be able to sip on that easily.
I think damn, what the hell was I gonna say about it? I think this whiskey is about it's about as boring as it gets, I think. Not a whole lot there. It's very like one note. Very smooth, very easy to drink. I agree with Alex. It would be very easy to shoot this. For people that don't like a very strong alcohol or whiskey taste, you could probably make a cocktail out of this and it'd be easy to drink. Not the smoothest, not the tastiest. It's just kind of there. As far as beginners go, I definitely recommend it to beginners, just because it's an easy whiskey. It's not something too crazy. It's not something too expensive.
Accessible.
It's accessible. Cheap. It's everywhere. It's cheap. And then once you try this, you can start moving up. I mean,
I was excited for it, and it let me down. But that's that. Should we close this out?
It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. And yeah, we should.
Guys, remember, drink responsibly. And
welcome back, everyone, to Spirits Club.